Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today I want to talk about two things that I think a lot of people probably think are completely unrelated. When I see both of these things going viral at the same time, I can't help but think they are, because it's hard in this day and age to not think that everything that's going viral is in some way fucking related somehow now, because almost all of it, if you really were to research and dive deep into it, kind of is. It's all starting to come true, all these conspiracy theories. But two things: ticks and Chud. That fucking idiot, racist moron. Not even. Well, yeah, I guess we're here to talk about like what he believes or thinks, but. And then the ticks, right? Like there's this large belief going around that these somehow engineered or modified like super ticks, and lots of them are popping up all over the country. And now there's videos of people that are catching helicopters on their property. Farmers are catching helicopters on their property, in key locations on their property, dropping ticks, and or what looks like that would be what they're doing. They're not supposed to be there, and have these lines that are connecting this small little box or something that's letting something down, and all of a sudden ticks are everywhere. Like, I mean, kind of obvious, right? And some of these ticks carry this disease that makes you not able to eat meat or something like that, or like anymore, right? Which is like, that's one part of it, but then there's another side of that, right? And the reason I want to talk about these two things is it really feels like both of these stories are designed to set in motion the process of eliminating, or at least showing you why you shouldn't attempt to continue trying to use these rights, right? So with the ticks, I would say that the continuance of eating meat becoming a big problem is something that is a gradual, like, build that they're building towards, and something that isn't so obvious right now, but if mass amounts of these ticks keep being freaking planted and spread over the course of the country, or even wherever they can live, right? And especially where I would imagine they are also being taken and put, but people probably aren't noticing as much yet. But as the year progresses and the weather warms up, more people start going out hiking and exploring, like the more remote areas, like that tends to happen in the warmer months. We'll probably start hearing about more and more ticks in places that people aren't at, and there's a good enough reason, if you think about all the crap that's going on and you think that they're trying to take away your rights of being able to control your life. The reason would be if you create an infestation of ticks that make a place uninhabitable by humans, and you put these things all over, right, everywhere, in remote land, in land that people can go and freaking homestead on and create their own, self-sustaining homestead, that they do not have to, rely on the government to fund their life, or like have to pay as much in taxes, or like, what I mean, like have more freedom, and more control. And if they, plant or engineer these ticks that are really destructive to our ability to eat, some of the things you would need to have to self-sustain like that. Like, sure, you could just grow a bunch of vegetables, but like if you can't eat meat, and if they got it to where you can't eat meat, what makes you think they can't eventually engineer some in certain areas that maybe makes it to where you can't eat chicken or fish? So I don't know. I mean, fuck, they made it to where you can't eat meat. I don't know what the fuck they're capable of, but shit just keeps cascading slowly towards us not having freedom. And it almost feels like this tick situation is it's deeper than the destruction of farmland, which that's like the right now goal, it seems like, is let's destroy the farmland so we can buy it at a fucking discount. It don't matter if it's at a discount or not. They don't care how much they spend on the land. They just want the land. But if they destroy it, then you have less incentive as a farmer to want to keep it. And so then they can build data centers on it, right? Which, who knows? Maybe those are just prisons, right? And if you have ticks that you fucking make habitation for a human impossible in all other areas that aren't already incorporated and don't already require you to have some sort of income or be part of the system, so to speak, you can't go and leave society anymore. And then, if you can't live on your own, you can't afford you don't have a job that AI hasn't taken, maybe you get put at the data center. I don't know. And then another thing that's a little more here and now, I think, I'm going to transition over to the Chud thing. And the reason that these two things relate, in my eyes, is simply the examples of why you should start considering, in the government's eyes, why you should start considering maybe being willing to let go of some more of your rights, right? Like that, the tick situation, if that continues to grow and they populate amongst themselves, and then that'll just be a situation that solves itself, because nobody's going to want to go and live out in the wilderness where they probably are just going to die anyway because they can't fucking eat nothing, or these ticks just poison them because they just keep eating at them, biting them, and you get fucking ticks stuck in your, Lyme disease kills you or something because you get fucking times 1,000, right? But so that'll work itself out if that's the plan. But then this thing, right, where I'm here talking right now, and like you make jokes or whatever, or you post it on the internet, and now with all the surveillance, it's gonna get to the point where they can hear literally everything. I mean, you have this thing in your fucking pocket. If you have this thing that I'm recording on, this iPhone, they can hear whatever the fuck they want, when the fuck they want. I've been taking phones apart. There's all kinds of shit. There's always power. They're listening, right? And if you have this very viral moment, right? You had this guy who almost feels like a plant now. When you watch the chronological, build up to this moment that the situation that's happened, with him pew-pewing, some guy who fought him, rightfully so, because he was making very hateful racial remarks towards a person randomly, unprovoked, right? And he's been posting all these things on the internet saying, if you try to fight me, I will use my Second Amendment. And that's the whole point. I'm using my Second Amendment right to protect my First Amendment right, which is who says that and thinks they can honestly go out and then do something like that and thinks that they're gonna get away with it? It's rage bait at the highest of stakes, right? And what it's designed to do is it gives, and it's, you're seeing it everywhere. Everyone's talking about it. It's all over everybody's algorithm, For You page. And what it's going to end up serving as, in my opinion, this is what I think, is you're going to start hearing more and more powerful people start bringing this situation up and start saying, well, this is why people shouldn't have First Amendment right fully, or we should start dialing it back a little because the First Amendment right leads to violence because that guy said stuff, exercised his First Amendment right, and the other guy hit him. Oh, well, then if you think about it, if you combine the right to have arms, well, once that violence starts, if one of them happens to be also exercising their Second Amendment right, well, then things are going to get out of hand, and they're going to blame that. That situation will be blamed on all of our abilities and First Amendment right and Second Amendment rights, and those rights to exercise them when, we need to, at least in terms of the Second Amendment, That's the only reason it should ever be exercised, is in self-defense. Like, entirely. Not, I wanted to go call a black person the N-word or say something very, very, very disgusting and hurtful and unnecessary. Like, I don't give a fuck what you think or feel. Like, you don't need to, like, we're all people, okay? Like trying to exist. Like, you go feel that shit at home. Say whatever you want behind closed doors. I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm not saying, like, you know, if you have the right to say that, you also have the right to get hit in the fucking face, right? And if you're a man, you could just fight back. It's your fault. You're the reason. You're the problem, right? You're the one carrying, like, you have that Second Amendment right, you know? But, like, and this is what makes me think this guy is a plant, right? Because any normal, and I'm not saying this guy is normal, this guy's a fucking piece of crap. Any reasonable thinking person knows that this is not how, you're not going to take all the steps that he's taken that's led up to this while also like like, this isn't something a patriot does, right? Like, he's not a martyr, right? This dude is a plant, and it's all in the way he's writing and in everything that he's highlighting, right? He's not even highlighting the things he marks as his beliefs or whatever he's fucking bullshitting. He's highlighting those two things, the First Amendment and the Second Amendment. And those are gonna be what they're gonna say in the news cycle. It's gonna start happening. I would almost put money on it. Is that, look, those two rights, those two amendments, the very first ones you ever had, right? Those are emboldening people to go out and do these things, and we're gonna have to really start dialing those back. And all those people on the red side that, like, you guys all still think like, oh, like, I'm a Republican or I'm a Democrat, and like you think that those are like fucking things. Like, no, those are just another layer of like fucking control to keep you fucking occupied with the idea, the illusion that like, oh, I'm on a team, like, like, and this is just going to be another example of why you should have less rights to say what you want, because what you say might incite violence, and you also should have less rights to be able to defend yourself and arm yourself for that reason. And the same people who just a few years ago were fighting, hooting, hollering, telling you that you have the right to have arms and guns and everything, and that you have the right to, be able to defend your family. Those same people very soon probably going to be using this example right here as to why you shouldn't have those things and why it's dangerous for you. And it's simply because I mean, if I had a pew on me right now, do you think you could take control over me? Probably be a lot harder. If I didn't, though, and there was a lot of you, you'd probably be able to figure it out. You'd probably have to kill me because nobody's gonna fucking take control of me. But you'd probably try. You'd probably be a lot less emboldened to try had I had a, dingleberry to fight back with. Now, if you were the position of power, right, and I wasn't allowed to have one, and I didn't, and I was a law-abiding citizen, because at that point, being a law-abiding citizen will be not having one, and I guess I will be breaking the law. But if I was a law-abiding citizen in that scenario, and you, because you are the law, are allowed to have one, what am I gonna do? What choice do I have? Do I have the realistic choice in terms of survival to like try and fight and run, Sure. And like, if it comes down to that or Neuralink, that's probably what it's gonna be, or I'm gonna go try and live with the ticks or something. I don't know. Figure out some sort of fucking shit. I don't know. We're not there yet. I've been stocking up emergency food and shit, and you never know. I don't know. But all this shit going on, it just doesn't seem. It all seems like it's slowly starting to conglomerate into one fucking cesspool of means to separate us from our freedom and the ability to have some sort of semblance of control over our lives. Even down to like the decision to go, I don't want to be a part of this type of society anymore. I want to take my family and I want to go and I want to build something out in a remote area away from all this rat race, and I want to really try and build something self-sustainable. Even that is starting, the possibility of doing that is starting to be taken away through little stuff like these ticks, or like even like, you know, who knows what the hell they've been spraying and shit like lately. Like there was weird ass snow that wasn't melting, all kinds of weird shit going on. And can't help but think that eventually that's what that's going to lead to is a far less likely ability to be able to go out and create your own way of life on your own, like a lot of those people who you see right now who are living on their own. And you know, it's something I want to do. I just don't have the means entirely to do it yet. So all I can do is try and prepare as best I can for the future, and try and save as many resources as possible to do something like that as soon as possible, if it's not too late already. But I guess we will see. But anyways, let me know what you think down below, if you thought this was interesting, or if you feel the same way I do, because shit's looking weird, and it only looks weirder and weirder as time goes on. But thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know what you think down below.